Hello and welcome to Galaxy Primetime News. My name is Nenwarangi Mazaka. I will begin with the headlines. President Tinubu will depart Abuja on Sunday to attend the joint Arab-Islamic Summit in Saudi Arabia. The Senate committee assures Nigerians that the planned sale of crude in Naira will in no way have adverse effect on the exchange rate and 2024 budget. On foreign scene, over 25 people have been killed and over 40 wounded in a bombing at a railway station in Pakistan. Details of these and more will come to you shortly. To stay with us. And now the news in full. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will depart Abuja on Sunday for Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, to attend the joint Arab-Islamic Summit, which will focus on the current situation in the Middle East. Bayo Ononuga, Special Advisor to the President, Information and Strategy, in a statement on Saturday said the summit will commence on Monday, November 11, 2024. Ononuga said the summit is being held at the invitation of King Salman and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and follows last year's summit in the same Saudi city. He said that during the summit, President Tinubu will address the ongoing Israel-Palestinian conflict, emphasizing Nigeria's strong call for an immediate ceasefire and the urgent need for a peaceful resolution. The spokesman said Nigeria will also advocate for renewed effort to revive the two-state solution as a pathway to lasting peace in the region. He said key officials, including the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tugar, will accompany the President. Other members of the entourage are the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, Minister of Information and National Orientation, Alhaji Mohammed Idris, and the Director General of the National Intelligence Agency, Ambassador Mohammed Mohammed. Meanwhile, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved the reappointment of the Director General, National Biotechnology Research and Development Agency, NBRDA, Professor Abdullahi Mustafa, for a second tenure of 5 years. His reappointment was conveyed in a letter signed by the Secretary to the Government, SGF, Senator George Akume. FNIM, Professor Mustafa's second tenure is with effect from 31st October 2024 and is in line with the provisions of the Section 10 subsection 1 and subsection 3 of the National Biotechnology Development Agency Establishment Act 2022. Industry experts consider his reappointment as an expression of President Tinubu's confidence in his ability to drive innovation towards attaining food security, enhance pharmaceutical production, and position Nigeria at the forefront of the fourth industrial revolution. His reappointment is an opportunity to build on his salutary record of achievements in the last 4 years. Mustafa is a professor of bioorganic chemistry from Dambata local government area of Kano State. His extensive wealth of experience in the academia and industry will dynamize the ethical practice of biotechnology for national development. The Senate Committee on Finance has assured Nigerians that the planned sale of crude in Naira will in no way have adverse effect on the exchange rate and the 2024 budget as passed by the National Assembly. The chairman of the committee, Senator Sani Musa, gave the assurance in Abuja while speaking with journalists on the outcome of the meeting with the stakeholders in the country's economy. Correspondent Kinuju reports that Senator Musa said though the 2014 budget as passed by the National Assembly was predicated on the Naira to dollar benchmark, adding that the decision on the sale of the crude in Naira was arrived by the President for economic growth as well as reduce inflation.
The MTEP and the fiscal strategy paper that we approved for the 2024 budget is predicated on the basis of crude oil sales in dollar. So we now want to inquire, are you fixing a different price for the dollar, or what is happening? Because if you do that, that means you are likely bringing subsidy from the back door. And you know that the policy of this administration is that there's a total withdrawal of subsidy. So we discussed that, and we have been enlightened very clearly that it will have no effect on the exchange rate.
He expressed satisfaction with the report and updates provided by the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Bayo, and the Group Managing Director of NNPCL, Malakiari, saying there is hope for the hailing economy. On the 2025 appropriation bill, the chairman of the committee assured that all hands are presently on deck as the economic team, in conjunction with the Ministry of Finance, are working for the budget with the support from the presidency.
Also discussed about the outcome and the performance of the 2024 budget. We have had the brief from the Minister of Finance. I am interacting with them. The Minister of Finance just left. The Minister of National Planning, they've been working tirelessly in collaboration with the National Executive Council, then National Economic Council as well. So when you are talking of GDP, I mean our debt ratio to GDP, if you are talking about reduction in the debt ratio, you will see that it has come down from 90-something to about 60-something. So that is, you see, we are not seeing it physically, but in terms of indices that gives and computes where the ratings are done, you will see that the economy is performing.
The popular saying that Nigerian youth are leaders of tomorrow have been a theme of debate in several forums. This is because in the Nigerian space, politicians are usually recycled and hold on to power for as long as they can, to the detriment of the youth. In this report, our correspondent Dele Fason takes a look at Nigerian youth taking their rightful place amid economic challenges. The report.
In developed nations like France and Canada, to mention but a few, the president and prime minister are in their 40s compared to Nigeria, whose youngest head of state till date was General Yakubu Gowon, who was in his early 30s. And after that, Nigerian presidents, since he started the democratic system of government in 1999, were all over 70 years of age without any consideration for the youths. The head of department in History, College of Education, Warri, and Economics and a political scientist spoke on the misplaced priorities of the Nigerian youth.
The Nigerian society today have no place for youth because the leadership today is a recycling of the old folks. Old wines in new skin clothes. For tomorrow, let us not talk about tomorrow yet. The youth of today have not prepared themselves for tomorrow. The reason is that they follow the footprints of their older generations. The Nigerian society today believe in quick wealth.
The youth, ordinarily, they are supposed to be the leaders of tomorrow. But from what we are saying, they are not ready for leadership. They are not prepared for it. They are not even willing to take over the leadership because they still believe in the crumbs that they are getting from current politicians. So, I'm saying, they are not prepared for leadership tomorrow, and they are not doing anything to take over.
The reason why it becomes doubted now is because some persons have continued to be recycled into government. They have nothing to offer, and the youths are not being given opportunity. But the question you will ask yourself is, who is enabling these old persons to be recycled? Is it not the youths? The youths are the one that flagrantly abuses the electoral law, rig election for them. The youths are the one who sing their praises. They are the cannons that they use in, folding up the guns that they shot. So the youths are the one who are responsible for their problem, because they are the one that are sustaining the old breed that doesn't want to get out. Somebody will be asking me, what do you think can be done? Until the youths wake up.
A student of the College of Education, Warri, said the youths can still take the rightful place as other stakeholders call on the youths to be proactive and pragmatic.
Nigeria youths, they are still leaders of tomorrow. Why? Because right now, even though the leaders are not supporting the youth, they can still afford themselves in one or two things, whereby I can use myself as an example. Like I'm a student there, it's under scholarship. People that sponsor us, like a young student, there are, in some states, we are lacking a young students, teachers, sorry to say. So because of that, there are certain people, they have made themselves as a leaders to sponsor the youth.
If they really want to take over from the older generation, they should be pragmatic. They should not look at those things that are a kind of floating around in terms of money. Because when you depend on money, that only money that makes up life, then you miss it. The youth should go for money, and so the politician uses them as a pawn.
To take the rightful place in the leadership of the country, they must be focused, they must be educated, because to the youth of today, they see education as a scam, but that orientation must change so that they know that for them to lead the country tomorrow, they need some level of good and effective.
As Nigeria battle with economic challenges in every aspect of the economy, the youth must redefine its priority if it wants to regain its rightful place in Nigeria leadership space. From Delta State, Elifason reporting for Galactic TV News.
In Kebbi State, over 15 people died when the natives of Mera community clashed with the new terrorist group Lakurawa. The new group allegedly has linked to ISIS that operates in the Sahel. The incident happened on Friday near Mera community in Ugi local government area of Kebbi State. That the crisis ensued when members of the Lakurawa terrorist group met a local herder and attempted to rustle his animals. The herder ran to the community and raised alarm, and community members marched to the location where they engaged the terrorists in a fight that led to the killing of 15, while many were injured. The Deputy Governor of Kebbi State has paid a condolence visit to the people of Mera and was accompanied by the Commissioner of Police and Emir of Agungu, the eyewitness said. Also, there was an accident in Sokoto which claimed lives of 15 people in Mirawa village along the Funtua-Sokoto highway. Federal Road Safety Corps described the incident as avoidable and preventable, citing poor vehicle maintenance and driver negligence as primary factors. According to a statement signed by the state's FRC spokesperson Olusegun Ogunbemide, the crash occurred around 11 a.m. when a Toyota Hiace bus carrying passengers from Kano experienced a tire burst, causing the driver to lose control. The bus then collided head-on with a Sinos truck operated by the Dangote Group. The impact resulted in multiple casualties, with most of the deceased being bus passengers. A total of 28 people were involved, comprising 23 male adults, 1 female adult, 1 male child and 3 female children. Of this number, 13 victims, 11 males, 1 female adult and 1 male child were rescued with varying degrees of injuries. The remaining 13 individuals who sustained various injuries were rushed to Funtua General Hospital for medical treatment. Reacting to the incident, FRC Corps Marshal Shehu Mohammed expressed deep concern over the recurring issue of poor vehicle maintenance on Nigerian roads. You're still on to Galaxy Primetime News, and coming up next. A sport competition was organized to celebrate the internally displaced persons in the society. The details are more will come to shortly. Please stay with us. We're glad to have you back. Now for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect to us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GalaxyTVNews. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GalaxyTV. Remember to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live update and comment, as you can easily scan our IG QR code. The National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons has rescued an 8-year-old boy, Divine Ibianga, who has been missing for over a year. The Uyo Zonal Commander for NAPTIP, Emmanuel Awen, who made the disclosure in an interview with newsmen in Uyo on Saturday, confirmed that the boy had been reunited with his parent. Awen explained that Divine was abducted on the 1st of September 2023 by an individual who has yet to be apprehended while he was playing with his elder brother at their compound in Port Harcourt. He said the boy was rescued by NAPTIP's Abuja office, which brought him to the Uyo Zonal Command to trace his biological parent. The boy, Divine, was rescued by NAPTIP headquarters in Abuja and then sent to them, where he was able to put him on television and social media. Awen said, from the parent account, Divine and his elder brother were playing the compound when a visitor entered on that fateful day. The visitor gave the elder brother 200 naira to buy biscuit, and while the brother was away, the visitor took Divine. As part of our effort to celebrate the internally displaced persons, the undeserved and indigent in the society, a sport competition was organized for them. The sport competition, which was between the boys and girls, was aimed at bridging the gap between the two genders, especially in the area of sport. It also served as a motivating factor for the IDPs because it gives them an opportunity to express themselves, especially the girl child. Grace Ilia said they have been training with the IDPs on a weekly basis, and it is why they organize the competition. She added that over 100 internally displaced persons have benefited from the empowerment program.
Came as a need for us to groom young girls, especially those from IDP camps. The idea was to have girls from IDP camps and low-income homes, to groom them and train them to have a source of livelihood and have a source of belonging, and also to bridge the inequality gap between the boys and girls that play sports. And then there's also this factor, if you like, another mentality where in some parts of the north is quite like a taboo, not really, but like a taboo for girls to play.
Performance of the young boys and girls today in the field of play, when they were playing the football match, you can see that a lot of them have skills. These days, it's not just education that brings food to the table, but what you have, what the kind of talent, the skills that you have. And foundations like this would help showcase this kind of talent. And we hope to look at, in the near future, great sportsmen and women coming up out of this country.
The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps Ogun Command has earmarked 2,150 personnel to ensure the security and success of the forthcoming local government elections in the state. The NSCDC Commandant Remile Ekundayo said this in an interview with newsmen in Abeokuta on Saturday. She further stated that the personnel would work to safeguard voters and prevent any protest during the election. The Defense Corps has numerous responsibilities, including protecting lives and property, maintaining law and order, and safeguarding critical infrastructure, among others. Ekundayo noted that personnel who had been deployed across the 20 local government areas of the state. She, however, warned those planning to disrupt the polls or incite any violence to desist. According to the NSCDC chief, the Defense Corps would not hesitate to take necessary action against such individuals. She added that the state governor, Dapo Abiodun, had expressed a strong commitment to ensuring the elections are free, fair and credible. A Federal Capital Territory High Court has quashed a criminal summons issued on September 12th by a magistrate court against Senator Monday Okpebolo over alleged certificate forgery. Justice Charles Agbaze, in a judgment, also voided the entire proceedings before Magistrate Abubakar Mukhtar of Owuse Magistrate Court in Abuja on grounds that the summons was issued in excess of his jurisdiction and error of law. Justice Agbaze agreed with Okpebolo that the entire proceedings and the criminal summons were illegal, unconstitutional, and in violation of his fundamental human rights to fair hearing as guaranteed under Section 36 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. Okpebolo, who is the governor-elect in the September 21st Edo governorship election, had, through his counsel, Andrew Nwanta, dragged Honesty Agbansere and Mukhtar before the court as first and second respondents.
I would say that this, for us, signposts justice undiluted. Remember, on the eve of the election, a magistrate court in Wuse had fixed hearing of a criminal summons against Senator Monday Okpebolo, who is presently the governor-elect. And thankfully, we had come before this court to ask for leave for judicial review of that particular criminal summons that was issued on the 13th of September on a purely pre-election matter. And today, the FCT High Court has given its final verdict upon our application for judicial review, quashing the proceedings before that particular court on 3 grounds. First, it's a pre-election matter under Section 29, for which only the Federal High Court has jurisdiction. Of course, the PDP candidate had the opportunity of doing so within 14 days, but chose to use a backdoor channel.
The development followed the criminal summons by Magistrate Mukhtar on September 12th, directing Okpebolo to appear in court on September 20th, the eve of the governorship poll in Edo, over an alleged false statement on his date of birth brought against him by Agbigbate, an indigene of the state. You're still on to Galaxy Primetime News. We'll quickly take a break, and when we return, the news continues. To stay with us. We're glad to have you back. Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has said that his administration will continue to undergo projects that will touch the lives of the people of Rivers State. Governor Fubara made this known in Emoha community when he met with community leaders after inspecting the ongoing construction works on a community road abandoned after threats by youth. According to the governor, he personally visited the community after promising the people of completing the link road to the coastal areas.
We will continue to embark on projects that will touch the life of our people. It is not a 1 kilometer road, it's not a 2 kilometer road, it's a 9.7 kilometer road at the cost of about 15 billion. So you can imagine what we're doing to better the life of our people there. I personally came to the waterfront to see what we could do to connect the other side of the river to this side. But we're working on it. Let's see, by the time we're done with this, we'll now decide on what to do about that. But I can assure our people we'll continue to make you happy.
Thank you
for your support to us.
Before the discovery of oil, Nigeria was referred to as an agrarian state because of its independence on agriculture. Today, the reverse is the case, as agriculture, which was once taught on a practical level in schools, have since been a thing of the past. In this report, our correspondent Dele Fason takes a look at the benefit of agriculture practical training in schools and the benefits to the Nigerian economy. The report.
One of the remedies in the fight against hunger in Nigeria today is food sufficiency. This can only be achieved if more people embrace farming, with the federal government taking the lead by taking it to schools in the grassroots. A farmer and a director of agricultural studies harp on the need for government to take the lead in ensuring students take to farming.
That we should not begin to, our education system is faulty. That is why we are having this problem. Immediately oil came, we thought that money is everything. But we now discover that money is nothing. Each of them should behave like the people of Malaysia. Once you give birth to a child, the first thing is give the child a small plot and let him plant oil palms. And then in 6 years, the oil palms start to produce. And the child will now carry himself. He will be a millionaire. If you don't want to hunger, please, let every one of you learn from this how to plant. Plant on the land and eat the food from the land.
So if every Nigeria is into agriculture, then this problem will be solved. We'll be saying this theoretically, but today we feel that since we have this farm close to us, we should bring them for them to see for themselves what they stand to gain once they're able to bring up something like this. No, these are secondary school students from GSS to SS. It's never too young. They are not too young. They can understand, and it's always better to start early.
Some students who took part in the agricultural training of contributing their quota in food sufficiency expressed their views on the gains.
I've learned that agriculture is a very important, it's just like an occupation that we can learn, and with agriculture we don't need to worry about food products and the rest, and about buying things from the market. We can farm our own food in our land, and Nigeria land is fertilized, and we can farm without worrying about anything. And secondly, I've learned that the desire to become doctors, engineers, all those kind of occupation is not really important. What is important is farming.
I learned basic education. I learned farming education, and I learned that when farming brings food to people, and we can use co-ops we can harvest co-ops to feed ourselves and other people.
Here on excursion to know all about agriculture and its farm produce. I've learned that we no need for us for learning other stuff. We can go into agriculture and help the country in their food problem.
Although the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, had in different forums charged schools from the primary level to embrace farm training, government on its part must match words with action in ensuring the exercise is not in futility. From Delta State, Daily Fast reporting for Galactic TV News.
Policies and programs executed based on data and research have always performed excellently well. Policymakers need hard facts to back whatever policy or programs they are doing to be able to have direct and beneficial impact on the citizenry. These were submissions of Professor Philip Alege, President, National Association of Microeconomics Modelers, in a chat with Galaxy News in Ibadan. He admonished political leaders to have a rethink on the approach to research and model in Nigeria, as it is a platform for effective implementation for policies and procedures. Professor Olu Sonya Olubusoye, a professor of statistics, Department of Statistics UI, in his own remarks said it is time for government and critical stakeholders in the Nigerian economy to know the importance of modeling and data for evidence-based policy and decision-making. He emphasized that a high-quality, responsive data infrastructure and capacity building is the foundation for a sound macroeconomic modeling. It determines the quality of output, while all stakeholders to collaborate to build a robust national data ecosystem.
Macroeconomic model and data science for socio-economic development of Nigeria. And you agree with me that this is a very crucial moment in our economic history, in which we need all of us to look from our own professional backgrounds what we can do to bring Nigerian economy out of the woods. And in particular, we are proposing a macroeconomic approach so that when decisions are made by policymakers, it will be appropriate to what is happening in the economy.
Studies have shown that for every dollar invested in data collection, in data infrastructure, the country gets a $34 development impact for every dollar. But if you ask our government, how much do they put in data collection, data production? So we know they put very little.
Federal and state governments in Nigeria have been advised to invest massively in renewable energy for rapid socio-economic development in the country. A cross-section of speakers at the 2024 conference of the Renewable Energy Association of Nigeria said the problem facing Nigeria in the adoption of renewable energy is affordability for the people. The president of the association, Ayo Ademilu, while speaking at the opening session of the conference, decried the millions of naira being spent on petrol to supply energy, noting that in Lagos alone there are over 4 million generators supplying energy for various businesses.
Even what we feel is common is no longer affordable to all of us. Now, by the time you begin to move into the world of renewables, we all know the graph of renewables, that the initial outlay, is higher. Over the lifespan, it evens up and it becomes a lot, much better decision to go with. One of the problems we have faced as a country in adoption of renewable energy in Nigeria has been the affordability to our people.
Other stakeholders in a goodwill message at the event emphasized the need to capture the energy needs and perceptions of Nigerians and work towards affordable and sustainable energy for the people. They further called on federal and state governments to come up with policies that will encourage renewable energy investment and lower the entry barriers for new technologies and innovations.
to capture their energy needs and their perception around renewable energy solutions. And we will hear about the findings from this survey today. I'm very excited. Because the insights are crucial as we work to unlock this rich market segment and catalyze growth by empowering, especially women or entrepreneurs with clean energy. So as we explore such innovative financing models to broaden energy access in Nigeria,
collaborative frameworks between government, the private sector, and international stakeholders, including RIAN, are vital. By fostering these partnerships, we not only increase resource availability, but also bring expertise, innovation, and scalability to our projects.
Legislators too, of course, can play a vital role by focusing constituency projects on renewable energy solutions over traditional equipment, thus paving the way for a more resilient and productive economy. I want to also emphasize the importance of social inclusion and community involvement. Traditional and religious leaders, as well as market authorities, hold a unique position to champion renewable energy adoption at community level.
The Kano Electricity Distribution Company has denied reports claiming that the company defied the Minister of Power's directives on customers' disconnection. This clarification was made in a statement issued by the head of Corporate Communications Unit, Sani, and made available to newsmen. According to the KEDCO spokesman, the company was not in defiance of the ministry's directive regarding billing for the outage period. The electricity bills currently being collected are for September's consumption, which were distributed in October. Therefore, customers who have not paid these bills are being disconnected, he explained. Sani further clarified the Honorable Minister of Power only stated that customers will not be billed for the outage period from 21st October to 30th October. KEDCO will ensure that customers are not billed for this period, and this will be reflected in this month, which is November bill, he said. King Jaja of Opobo, Dandison Jaja, has urged traditional rulers to embrace and work actively within their communities to promote environments that are accessible and inclusive to all. The King Pobo gave the advice while addressing journalists during an interaction with authorities of people living with disabilities in Abuja. He said, as custodians of cultures and values, traditional rulers bear a unique responsibility to champion inclusivity at the grassroots. The king said his community has always cherished the ideals of mutual respect, support, and inclusiveness, calling on all the traditional rulers to remember their collective responsibility of ensuring that everyone is treated equally, regardless of his or her ability. He also asked them to honor humanity and reinforce the message that disability inclusion is not just a policy matter, but a fundamental human value by setting an example in the communities.
I urge our colleagues and fellow traditional rulers to embrace this cause and work actively within their communities to promote environments that are accessible, inclusive, and responsive to all. We will not only honor the humanity of our people, but also reinforce the message that disability inclusion is not just a policy matter.
And I'll move over to the foreign desk for more news.
Hello and welcome to the foreign news. At least 25 people have been killed and more than 40 wounded In a bombing at a crowded railway station in Pakistan's restive Balochistan province, according to police. The explosion on Saturday happened as nearly 100 passengers waiting on the platform at about 8:45 a.m. in Quetta, the capital of Balochistan, for a train to Peshawar. Senior Superintendent of Police Mohammed Balak said 14 soldiers were among the dead. The toll also included 5 civilians and 6 railway employees. Pakistan's largest and poorest province, resource-rich Balochistan, is home to separatist armed groups and has been a frequent target of deadly attacks. The province borders Afghanistan and Iran. The Balochistan Liberation Army claimed responsibility for the attack, saying in a statement that a suicide bomber targeted troops present at the railway station. The outlawed BLA has long waged an armed rebellion seeking independence from Islamabad. It is the biggest of several ethnic rebel groups battling the government, saying it unfairly exploits the province's gas and mineral resources. Flooding in South Sudan has placed more than 379,000 people, according to a United Nations update that warned about a surge in malaria. Aid agencies have said the world's youngest country, highly vulnerable to climate change, is in the grip of its worst flooding in decades, mainly in the north. The floods have affected about 1.4 million people. The UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs said across 43 countries and the disputed Abyei region, which is claimed by both South Sudan and Sudan. It added in a statement that more than 379,000 people were displaced in 22 counties and in Abyei. A surge in malaria has been reported in Jonglei, Unity, Upper Nile, Northern Bahel, Gazelle, Central Equatorial and Western Equatorial State, overwhelming the health system and exacerbating the situation and impact in flood-hit areas. Since gaining independence from Sudan in 2011, South Sudan has been plagued by chronic instability, violence and economic stagnation, as well as climate disasters such as drought and floods. A United Nations Security Council committee has sanctioned 2 generals from Sudan's paramilitary rapid support forces for destabilizing the country through violence and human rights abuses. These are the first UN sanctions in the current war in Sudan, which erupted on 15 April 2023 as a result of a power struggle between the RSF led by Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo and Sudanese Armed Forces Chief Abdel Fattah al-Burhan. The UNSC Sudan Sanction Committee agreed to a United States proposal made at the end of August to impose an international travel ban and asset freeze on the RSF head of operations Osman Mohammed Hamid Mohammed and West Darfur commander Abdul Rahman Juba Barkala. Diplomats said the move was delayed by Russia because it wanted more time to study the proposal, according to newsmen. The committee operates by consensus. In May, the U.S. Treasury Department imposed sanctions on Mohammed and the group's Center Darfur commander Ali Gibril. And still on foreign news, North Korea has staged a global positioning system jamming attack, Seoul's ministry has said. An ongoing disruption operation has affected several ships and dozens of civilian aircraft in South Korea. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff on Saturday warned ships and aircraft operating in the West Sea area, also known as the Yellow Sea, to be cautious of North Korea's GPS signal jamming. North Korea conducted GPS jamming provocations in Haeju and Kaesong yesterday and today. The JCS in a statement added that several vessels and dozens of civilian aircraft were experiencing some operational disruptions as a result. GPS relies on a network of satellites and receivers that allows for global positioning and navigation. The GCS also called on North Korea to immediately halt the interference and warned it would be held accountable for its actions. Between May 29 and June 2nd, an estimated 500 planes and hundreds of ships experienced GPS problems due to North Korean interference. The United States is allowing a small number of American defense contractors to work inside Ukraine to maintain and repair Pentagon-provided weaponry, according to U.S. officials. The U.S. has been a key military backer of Ukraine, committing more than $60 billion in security aid since Russia's full-scale invasion in February 22nd, 2022. But it has not permitted U.S. military contractors to work in Ukraine, wary that it could be drawn into a direct conflict with Russia. U.S. President Joe Biden made the decision in a significant policy shift before he leaves office in January. U.S. media reports. Before the November 5th presidential election won by Donald Trump, Biden also plans to rush billions of dollars in security assistance to Ukraine before his term ends. Trump has criticized the scale of U.S. military and financial support for Ukraine and has pledged to end the war with Russia quickly, without saying how. For the past 2 years, U.S. and allied forces have been providing real-time maintenance advance using phones and tablets to communicate in encrypted chat rooms with Ukrainian forces. Finally, on foreign news, Bolivia's Constitutional Court has barred former President Evo Morales from running again for elected office, preventing him from contesting next year's presidential election. The ruling, made public, also reaffirms a 2023 court order that the president cannot serve more than 2 terms, whether consecutive or not, and without the possibility of extending it to a 3rd term. Bolivia's first indigenous president, Morales, led the country from 2006 to 2019 and was extremely popular until he tried to bypass the constitution and seek a 4th term. The leftist won that vote but was forced to resign in 2019 amid deadly protest over alleged election fraud and fled the country. He returned after his former ally Luis Arce won the presidency in 2020. But since then, the two men have struggled for control over the governing party. Movement towards socialism. The Constitutional Court's ruling came in response to a parliamentarian request to clarify doubt about its December 2023 decision. And that's all we have on the foreign news. For more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GalaxyTVNews. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GalaxyTV. Remember to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comment, as you can easily scan our IG QR code. And that's all we have on Galaxy Primetime News. Thank you so much for being a part of the news. My name is Nenwa Ngimazaka. Goodbye.